So this movie was supposed to come to theaters in August of 2017. Instead, it's been dropped on VOD in September of 2019. That's a good sign, right?
Is anybody there?
Polaroid is the feature directorial debut of Lars Klevberg, who went on to direct the Child's Play remake. It's based on a short film of the same name, also by Lars Klevberg, and it stars Catherine Prescott as Bird, a young woman who gets an antique Polaroid camera as a gift, only to discover that the people who she takes photos of with it start dying in horrific fashions. As I said, this movie was in production hell for a while. It was delayed countless times from August of 2017 till now. There were rumors of it being dropped on Netflix, only for Netflix to come out and be like, shit, we don't want it. So now 2 years later, here it is on VOD. As I also said, it's based on a short film by Lars Klevberg, and that short film is actually pretty good. I watched it, I liked it. It's very tense and very atmospheric and very well directed. And this movie wasn't any of those things. Credit where credit's due, I have a few things I can give this movie props for. For one, the demon ghost entity in question is played by Javier Botet, who we stan on this channel, and the sound it makes and how it almost mimics the sound of a developing photograph is actually pretty unsettling and creepy. I also really love the aesthetic of this film. The choice of setting it in an urban college town in the dead of winter is a nice change of pace from what you usually get in films like this, which take place in like the summer when it's all sunny and you get the nice juxtaposition of scary things happening when it's hot out. It's really visually appealing to watch Bird biking through this college town in the middle of winter while it's like snowing all the time. It's pretty. And it's a nice thing to distinguish this movie from the rest of the films that are just like it. And that's it. That's everything I liked. Everything else about this movie is really not good. It ends up kind of coming across as like a weird love child of Wish Upon and Slender Man. The structure of the plot itself is very similar to Wish Upon, although Polaroid doesn't have any of the schlocky self-awareness that Wish Upon had. So it ends up just coming across wildly incompetent and extremely bland, much like Slender Man. Although Slender Man at least had a memorable scene or two, Polaroid doesn't even have that. It starts on an incredibly rushed scene between two characters that we don't know and will never care about, and it bulldozes straight through any semblance of an introduction just to get to the scares. And then it stays at that breakneck pace for the rest of its 90-minute runtime, and I don't mean that in a good way. The acting here is horrible across the board. I'll give Catherine Prescott some credit because it's clear she's at least trying to give a decent performance, which is more than can be said for anybody else in this film. Their friends are dying around them or directly in front of them, and they're seeing some really horrific shit, and the most they can muster is a facial expression that seems to say that they're bored. But honestly, where this movie already suffers in its performances, it suffers even more in terms of its writing and its technicals. If you want a perfect example of how poor this film's writing is, it comes in the first few minutes when Bird is introduced and she's mocked by someone off screen who says, "Look, it's Scarf Girl," because she's wearing a scarf. Zing. Then later in the movie when Bird explains her theory about the haunted camera, holy fuck, I just realized this is an extended Goosebumps episode. Someone responds by going, "That's good, Bird. You should post that on Creepypasta." What else can I say? The lighting is terrible. Every single scene, even normal conversations, take place in extremely dimly lit rooms where there's no reason for all the lights to be off. The scares, they've got good setups, but laughably flaccid executions, and they always end in extremely predictable jump scares with terrible CGI. And it's a real shame because the technique for a good scare is there, it just never delivers. Honestly though, the biggest sin that this movie commits is just how forgettable it is. There's not a single memorable moment, memorable performance, memorable shot in this movie. And that's a shame because the potential really was there. This movie has so much promise with its concept. I mean, there's so much folklore about how a camera can steal someone's soul. And then that's not the direction they go with it, and not what they do with it at all. The camera's backstory isn't even fully explained, and then the explanation we do get is kind of rushed and confusing and contradicts itself several times. And the explanation is really bland, and the entity's design is bland, and the whole movie is bland. I'll say this, I am happy that Klevberg stepped up his game with the Child's Play remake, and I am happy that this movie came out after the Child's Play remake, even if it was made beforehand. Because if I had seen this before I saw Child's Play, it would have killed any desire I had to see Child's Play. And I really enjoyed that movie, and I didn't enjoy this one. Polaroid is a film that is a step down from the film that inspired it, and it's one that is extremely forgettable. Bad acting, bad writing, bad directing, it's just bad. I'm going to say that Polaroid is soulless. It's not even bad enough to be qualified as a garbage fire. It's just bland and generic enough for your brain to forget everything about it like 2 hours after you watch it. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you like this channel and you want to see more and you want to see me suffer through more bad movies like this one for your entertainment, click down there, like, comment, subscribe. There's a Patreon link down in the description if you want to compensate me for my suffering. You could be like these cool people right here. Honestly, I would really appreciate it. I can make new, better quality content for you all to enjoy. Even $1 would help. But even if you don't, thank you so much for watching anyway. I love you all, and I will see you all very soon.